So, you've heard of the Eurovision Song Contest, but have you heard of the Intervision Contest? This is the incredible story of the Soviet answer to Eurovision. In this video, we're going back in time to watch the Intervision Song Contest. It's a story of Cold War music, of communist stars, of some truly epic songs and performers, and, most fascinating, a glimpse into a forgotten part of history. This is the incredible history of the Soviet Eurovision. This is the full story of the Intervision Song Contest. So, our story starts in the 1960s. The Eurovision Song Contest, a competition show broadcast across Europe to find the continent's most popular song, had started all the way back in 1956 and had become a massive success across the West. And so, Eastern Europe realised that it needed its own version to rival Eurovision and celebrate the musical delights of Eastern Europe. And so, the International Radio and Television Organisation, a group of broadcasters from across Eastern Europe, came together to form its own Eurovision. The first Intervision was born in 1965. Yeah, no expenses spared on the title, so we are live from the Karen Hall in Czechoslovakia. Six countries debuted. We had Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Hungary, Poland, the USSR and East Germany all performing. Now, in order to drag the contest out a bit, each country actually sent 2 songs. And check out this awesome staging.
Meine Damen und Herren in Deutschland, das war der Beginn des Grand Prix Intervision de la Chanson 1975.
So this is our glamorous host for the evening, Jarmila Kostov, who has used up all the hairspray in Czechoslovakia, and she is introducing the contest. So let's listen in to some snippets of some of the songs before we listen to who won this year.
Aztán mi volt, nem emlékezem. Látod, ez a szerelem. Ennél nagyobb élmény sohasem kell nekem. Nyári délután. So this one is one of my favourites. It's Hungary, she's called Maria, she is a brilliant performer, and this one is just really catchy. Hát szabad ez? Sétáltál velem. Meanwhile, here's Mayana from Yugoslavia hamming it up with This Is My Golden Sun. And here's Michael Heyman from East Germany singing First Came a Loving Glance. Hopefully not from him, he's kind of sinister.
Noch ein bisschen mehr, oh, es kam ein beliebter Blick, so ein Blick von mir. Das war schon ein kleines Stück auf dem Weg zu dir.
But by a long shot, the best song and, quite frankly, the best singer was the winner. This is Czechoslovakia and Karel Gott. Just listen to this guy's vocals.
Zpáteční
voice, and what a fantastic song. And don't worry, you'll be seeing plenty of Karel throughout the history of Intervision, and fun trivia fact, he also entered Eurovision and came last. So, by all measures, the first Intervision Song Contest had been a success, and was popular across Eastern Europe, and was even shown by some West broadcasters, in particular West Germany. And so, in 1966, a second Intervision was organised, and this time we're off to Bratislava. So, with last year's winner playing us in, we now have 8 countries performing, which for the first time includes Finland. And this year, marking a change from tradition, the show is presented by 2 people. Sorry, Eurovision fans, Intervision did it first, 10 years before Eurovision.
Dobrý večer.
Dobrý večer.
Although your man on the right looks absolutely terrified.
Neprišli do Bratislavy len preto, aby nám ozdobili večer, ale aj preto, aby si zmerali svoje sily.
And this year we're also introduced to these poor unfortunate souls. These are the Intervision juries who will be marking all of the songs. Okay, so let's crack on and take a look at some of the songs. And there are a few performances I cannot wait for you to see. So first up, I've chosen this guy, Muslim Magamayev, and he is singing a song about Bratislava, representing the USSR. He has an interesting singing style of looking angry throughout the whole thing.
Видел седой Дунай городов и слева и справа, ой, городов и слева и справа. Но примчался этот край, что величу ног Братиславы.
I can't work out whether he hates or loves Bratislava, but you know what, either way, let the man cook. I also enjoyed this poppy number from Hungary. This is Kiri Ambros singing Piroska. It's got a touch of the Poupée de Serre, Poupée de Son about it, and I absolutely loved this jazzy number from Poland. This is Anna German singing We Stopped by the Lake.
Stanęliśmy nad jeziorem, stanęliśmy
I love this song. Anna is definitely my winner this year, but it wasn't meant to be. Because despite Karel Gott re-entering this year and trying to do a Loreen and winning it again, he didn't. His song was dreadful, because the show this year was won by Bulgaria. And Lily Ivanova with her song Adagio.
ty si spustne bez strach koleláka между теб и мен. По света, по света, по света, по света, по света.
Go on, girl. Good grief, they know how to belt them out in Eastern Europe, don't they? So in 1967, despite Bulgaria winning it, we're back in Czechoslovakia. So we're going to skip quickly through this year because a lot of the songs sound pretty samey. But for the first time in the Intervision Song Contest, we had an interval act. And you're in Czechoslovakia, so who's going to do the interval? I told you he wouldn't be away for long. Yes, Karel Gott is back.
Duj, 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 ja, duj. Úplně jasně. La, 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 ha, ha, la, 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 la.
Turns out it wasn't just Eurovision that loved the la 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 lyrics. That's quite enough of that, thanks Karel. So the contest this year was won by, drumroll, Czechoslovakia again, and the singer was Eva Pilarova with her song Requiem. This is a beautiful ballad and she is a sensational performer. Here it is, the 1967 winner.
Ze všech tónů zbývá requiem, kruté requiem zoufalství. Má píseň dál světu zpívá. Má píseň z kříže se dívá. Přísahou, nespásou, tak prosím vás, ať konečně zní zvon přátelství
What a performer, so much talent. Now, Requiem went on to become Eva's biggest hit. It was absolutely massive across Eastern Europe and even became popular in parts of Western Europe as well. I'm told that in France it was a big hit and I definitely recognise the tune. So while Eva is receiving her flowers, we're next off to 1968, which is the final year before Intervision takes a long 10-year hiatus. And 1968 was a significant year for the contest, because after the Prague Spring, there followed a massive cultural and media liberalisation in Czechoslovakia. And so the rules of the Intervision were changed to allow countries from Western Europe to perform for the first time. And perform they did. Because in 1968 we welcomed Austria, Belgium, Finland, Spain, Switzerland, West Germany and Yugoslavia. Look how impressive that ballroom looks, absolutely amazing. And so, while we listen to a bit of Requiem from the orchestra, this year was also massively important in Intervision, because for the first time they revealed a scoreboard, and not just the winners. So our host Jarmila Kostova is introducing the contest, and for the first time she introduces it in English as well.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Greeting you most warmly from Czechoslovakia. we invite you to view with us the international pop song competition, the Golden Clef. We wish you a very pleasant evening. Bonsoir, mesdames, bonsoir, messieurs.
I like her, she seems nice. Okay, so let's take a look at the top 3 songs from this year. So, coming in 3rd place on its debut performance was Spain. The song is this rather sultry little number called Let It Be What Will Be by Salome.
No, no, no te vayas, me tienes que escuchar, me tienes que creer. Pase lo que pase, pase lo que pase, por encima te voy a querer.
Olé! I didn't think much of that song, didn't have much of a melody to it. Now, before I reveal the 2nd place, I do want to show you the Austrian entry, because it was the first song in Intervision performed in English. The song is called The South End of the Town, and this song pretty much died on its arse.
I live on the south end of the town, and all the people around here, they know me well enough to say, now there's a boy, he don't know what he wants, he don't know where he's going. When I go outside and see the people at their windows looking down upon me, they point at me and tell their little children not to be like me.
So this song is kind of dreary and feels like it just goes on and on and on for much longer than it needs to. Now, in a very kind way, the Intervision on its scoreboard didn't reveal who was absolutely rock bottom, it just said, no result announced. And so for Jack, it was no result announced.
I'll cook their dinners for alone, I look after myself.
Thanks, Jack. Back to Austria for you. But let's crack on now and see who won 2nd place. And it was Yugoslavia with this song sung in Croatian by Vice Vukov. The song is called If You Leave Now.
Dovoljno je valjda da te ludo volim. Ne shvaćaš, nismo više djeca.
Now, this song I do think is really good, and I don't know about you, but it's been a while since we had a La 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 chorus. Take it away, Vice. I love this song, and for me, Yugoslavia was the winner this year. But, alas, it wasn't meant to be. Because, guess who came back and won it again? Yes, of course, it could be nobody but Mr. Intervision himself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Karel Gott winning it again for Czechoslovakia. be one of the best male vocalists I've ever heard sing. How incredible.
Karel Gott. The Golden Clef goes to a Czechoslovak contribution composed by Ladislav.
Just as the Intervision feels like it's really finding its feet, this is where this chapter of the story ends, because politics was rearing its ugly head around the corner. In 1969, the Soviet Union invaded Czechoslovakia, ending the Prague Spring and media liberalisation, and plunging the country into turmoil. And so, the Intervision vanished overnight, as it was deemed incompatible with the communist message, and the TV screens fell silent for years and years as the Cold War froze across Europe. And Europe would have to wait a long 10 years before they could defrost the Intervision competition and start again. But start again they would. So after nearly a decade off air, Intervision roared back in 1977. It was rebranded and relocated to the iconic Forest Opera in Sopot, Poland, and it temporarily replaced the long-running Sopot International Song Festival and opened the show up to more non-European countries like Cuba. And we're now in colour, lads, and it gets much more poppy. So before we look at the top three, I need to show you this, Romania, who came second from bottom and in my view were absolutely robbed. This is Angela Semelea singing Today, and this one is a complete banger. I promise you, you'll be singing Today, Today all day. Anyway, our top three this year looks like this. In third place was Poland. No idea how this one came third, but I gather it's a bit of a classic in Poland. Anyway, in second place, this is incredible, was Cuba. I promise you, she will start singing at some point. I love this. Farah Maria is such a charismatic performer. I'm so pleased that Cuba came second this year. Anyway, our 1977 winner was, drumroll, Czechoslovakia again. And this time it was Helena Vondráčková with her song translated as Painted Jug. It's kind of a folk pop fusion. I don't know about you, but to me this is very much like The Sound of Music. Anyway, we move on now to 1978. So 1978 was a pretty spectacular year for the Intervision, because for the first time 2 countries tied for first place and 6 countries jointly finished last with 0 points. Now, interestingly, TVP has never released the full archive footage of this contest for some strange reason, possibly because 6 of the songs were so awful, but I can show you the 2 tied winners now. So you'll be completely unsurprised to hear that tied in first place was Czechoslovakia again, with this rather interesting chap, Václav Nekar. I think he's enjoying this more than anybody else watching. And also, in joint first was the Soviet Union, with Alla, Pugacheva and her song Kings Can Do Anything. And this one is brilliant. I love this song. She has such a stage presence, and I gather this performance marked her international breakthrough and turned her into a Soviet icon pretty much overnight. What a legend. Now, it won't be long until Intervision goes on another long hiatus. So while we can, let's enjoy the penultimate year, 1979. 1979, we're still in Sopot in Poland, and this year we welcomed Portugal and Morocco, the first African country to join the contest. So let's take a look at this year's top 3. In third place was Hungary with Strange New Year. I really hope she knows that man. Catchy song. Now, I gather this track is a particularly popular party song in Hungary now, so there you go. Now, in second place this year was Spain with Red de San Luis, ABBA Eat Your Heart Out, and their song, Balls in Mexico. Come on, you've got to admit that this one is a complete banger. But it was not going to be Spain's year, because in first place was Poland. with Czesław Niemann and his song When Spring Comes. So, at first listen, I didn't really think much of this ballad, but actually as I was editing this video, it's a real grower, and if you want to go and watch the full performance, you'll probably end up falling in love with it. And so we move to our final contest of this era, because 1980 would become the final edition of the Intervision's second run. In Sopot in Poland again, and this year we welcome the Netherlands, who performed for the first time. Now, unfortunately, there is next to no archive footage of the 1980 contest, and that might be because of what happened next, which led to the contest being shut down. But we do have footage of this year's winner. In 1980, Finland won, and Marion Rung was awarded first prize with her song Haivestia Yo.
If I don't see a reason, what am I to do? Where is the love? Where is the favor? The heart breaks out and no one saves her. Where is the love? Reach out to take it without that touch. I don't think that I can make it. Taste another tear.
Marion being the final winner in 1980 with the song Where Is the Love is actually pretty apt, because at this time Poland was entering a period of intense political unrest. The rise of the Solidarity movement in the 1980s led to nationwide strikes and growing instability, and in 1981 the Polish government imposed martial law, effectively shutting down large international cultural events. Under these conditions, staging an elaborate multinational TV competition became impossible. At the same time, Intervision was struggling with a declining momentum. While it had once been envisioned as a Cold War counterpart to Eurovision, a cultural showcase for the Eastern Bloc and its partners, audience interest had been uneven, and with the logistical demands of coordinating broadcasts across now very politically divided countries, it all became impossible. Economic pressures as the Soviet Union began to collapse also undermined the feasibility of funding the contest. And as a result, the Intervision quietly disappeared in 1980. But the story does not end there, because Intervision was not over. In fact, it's about to make two more comebacks, and its first comeback was in 2008 when Russia decided to resurrect the Intervision title. Now, this particular version was called 5 Stars Intervision, and it took place over several nights in Sochi, Russia in August. 11 countries competed, and this was more of an X Factor type show, where each week there was a different theme. So in week 1 that you're watching now, each of the country's artists had to perform an original song in either their own language or Russian. The juries would then vote on who was the winner on each night. So round 1 was won by the world's worst boy band and Kvetro with their song Romans. So on the second night, the countries had to perform Russian hits from the 20th century, and again, surprise surprise, that round was won by Russia. So here's our Russian boy band again singing the classic old school Russian song, Tell Me, Girlfriend.
Я сам хотел признаться ей, но слов я не нашел.
А чей прекрасный огонь обожаю, и на земле иного.
To be fair, this is a good performance and I can see why they won the second night. So on the third night, the contestants had to perform world hits in the original language of the song. And this night was won by Tajikistan with their singer Tamina Niyazova covering Mariah Carey's Hero. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on this performance, but I do want to show you Belarus, because their participant called The Champions, brave title, decided to do an interpretation of the classic song I Like to Move It. By any measures, this was a completely chaotic night of television, and this particular resurrection of Intervision is by far the most unhinged and worst of them all. Anyway, after all is said and done, the competition was finally won by Tajikistan with their original song, Zangi Telefon. That's a fantastic song, and she is a brilliant singer. So while the format of this year's Intervision was clearly very different to anything we've had before, it did have a lot of Eurovision features in it, including a scoreboard and juries voting for each song. So the 2008 Intervision was a bit of a disaster. The viewing figures weren't good, some of the performances were really ropey, and basically nobody really knew why it was happening alongside the Eurovision, when the majority of the countries you're seeing on screen at the moment also competed in that year's Eurovision. And so it was no surprise to anybody that this rather bizarre experiment in Intervision ended after just 1 year. But come on, you know the story by now. Intervision is not over. In fact, it's going to come back in its biggest iteration. So after the collapse of the Soviet Union and the very brief arrival of democracy in Russia, there wasn't much of a desire or a need for a separate Intervision, as all of the former USSR countries and Russia entered the main Eurovision contest. Here's Russia's first ever entry. From 1994, the song is called Eternal Wanderer. The artist is Yidip, and she came a respectable 9th place. And for many years, Russia continued to take part in the Eurovision Song Contest, including winning and hosting the competition. However, as Putin became increasingly authoritarian, the Russian state became more disillusioned with the liberal Eurovision, and following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the EBU kicked Russia out. And so, after 20 years of the Intervision quietly sleeping, Putin decided it was time to resurrect it once more, and launch the biggest iteration of the Intervision yet. So in 2025, Intervision roared back into action. 23 countries competed, including debuts from Brazil, China and India. This Intervision was massive, and it was by far the most highly polished and produced Intervision ever. And unlike the Eurovision, the winner of the Intervision actually got a cash prize. 30 million rubles, which is about $360,000. Not bad. Despite the show looking big, it turns out that actually not that many people watched it. The broadcast was available to 4 billion people, but actually viewing figures were more around the 15 to 20 million across all of the countries competing. The live stream of the Intervision had fewer than 30,000 live viewers. The 2025 Intervision was won by Vietnam and Duc Phu. It's a weird dynamic fusion of pop, rap and dubstep that celebrates a Vietnamese legend. To me, this song is absolutely appalling. You get whiplash from listening to it, and I'm not entirely sure what it's trying to be, but hey, it won. And so, at the time of making this video, the Intervision is fully back. The show is being planned for this year, 2026, and will come live from Saudi Arabia. So I hope you enjoyed this cultural journey through the history of Intervision. From Intervision's Cold War roots to today's geopolitical stage, the Intervision has been more than a contest. It's actually been a mirror of our world's shifting alliances and our enduring love for music. And perhaps the one thing we have learned from this video is no matter how much you try, you will never kill the Intervision. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also become a channel member to help support the channel. We'll see you next time.